and our knowledge during your conference, and we hope we'll have some also that you will have some use of us also, right? So I wanted to show in today's presentation our experience in introduction of new technologies in maritime education. Uh, it's a very interesting topic because nowadays even education is actually, unfortunately, industry, and we provide seafarers for the companies. Satellite imagery is very interesting because it's a modern thing to uh, nowadays, since satellite imagery for surveillance applications are now increasing due to new modern technologies such as artificial neural networks, artificial intelligence, etc. There are many reported attempts to monitor the spread of oil spills using remote sensing. Introducing remote sensing into the classroom will help to create awareness of the opportunities that this technique offers for sustainable development and ecology, green economy. Remote sensing also enables the monitoring of ships discharging oil or fuel and various forms of pollution. And there is a need to investigate whether multispectral imagery can be used to detect illegal discharges of ballast waters, etc. So there is a lot of potential research. Remote sensing also can be used in creating traffic portfolio, uh, counting ships, and etc. The scope is possibility of remote sensing in maritime transportation, but how to include it in education. And our motivation for doing is actually here because we want to introduce remote sensing into the classroom. So this is the beginning of the scope. So you can see here there are possible applications of remote sensing in maritime. There are underwater and surface applications from industry, uh, industrial fishing, track reconstruction, ecology, habitat use, ocean productivity monitoring, etc. At the surface, we have environmental variables such as wind, weather conditions, currents, and similar, which could be of interest. Um, so based on the sensor type, there are various applications. For example, if a sensor platform uses optical spectra, optical spectra can be used for monitoring fishing fleets, bathymetric mapping, monitoring phytoplankton, hurricanes, meteorological conditions, and similar. Motivation for entering this technology into education is that this is a relatively new technology, new in the sense that it's not completely included in standards of training, certification, and watchkeeping provided by International Maritime Organization. Hence, this new technology should be integrated into education curriculum to cope with advances in technology. Making educational process more interesting is one of motivations including this subject into education to the class. Then we have better teaching technique because it's teaching by doing. Hence, students should something actually do or simulation of doing something, and they can learn more than simply listening to the lectures. And finally, um, this could lead to informing the students of new trends that could be expected in in the near future in their careers. Ways to introduce remote sensing in education are several. First of all, someone can start with students' thesis and graduate thesis. That is the usual approach, something like pilot project in economy, in businesses. Then we can change the curriculum of existing courses by integrating some new technologies and then implementing new knowledge through new courses. In this presentation, we focus on this last. This is the toughest thing because it needs changes that must be approved by educational agencies and by university. Hence, we decided to apply to the European Space Agency project. The title of project, which will incorporate including of new course of remote sensing into maritime education, was called It's called actually remote sensing and function of sustainable development of maritime sector. Contractor name is our institution, University of Split, Faculty of Maritime Studies, and subcontractor is from business, is List Labs. This is a small company from Zagreb. Like any other project, we had to comply with several things, such as defining project goals, assess the risks, allocate required resources, strategies that plan and execution process, maintain healthy communication, etc. There is always challenges in this process. Even European Space Agency asks us about risks. So what could be risks in education? So we find, for example, that risk could be that no one enrolled this course, this new course. So there is no actual control, is it good or not? And we need some considerable number of students to check is it good or not our approach in introduction of new course. So curriculum starts with lessons, introduction to remote sensing. Introduction to remote sensing means that we deal with overview of remote sensing principles and concepts. We have in-depth understanding of electromagnetic spectrum sensors, types of remote sensing platforms and characteristics, historical development and significance to maritime sector. Then we have lessons about satellite constellations with the focus of Sentinel missions, which means that we have exploration of Sentinel missions, their role in Earth observation and maritime applications, and in-depth look at satellite constellations beyond Sentinel. Finally, we must tell students how to understand the difference between different sensor platforms and sensors because they are not all from the same background. And that is also the challenge. Then we have a lesson about data acquisition, processing, and analysis, which includes importance of data acquisition strategy in maritime remote sensing, theory of data preprocessing, including basics of atmospheric corrections, theoretical foundation of image enhancement and classification. Next lesson was about oceanographic application and remote sensing application oceanography. That's a theoretical underpinning of remote sensing applications in oceanography, understanding the principles of monitoring sea surface properties. Next lesson was about software tools for remote sensing and spatial analysis. This means introduction to QGIS. This is an open source geographical information system. Then overview of importance of visualizing spatial data. Theoretical foundations of software tools for remote sensing, data manipulation and visualization using software tools in a remote sensing context, and something about other popular software packages, not just for this geographical information systems, since there are other packages can be used for this purpose.